Hi, welcome to Ranking of Races. In today's episode we're checking out Mario Kart 7 for the 3DS and RaceDriver Grid for the Xbox. Our current rankings look like this. We've got Blur in the lead, followed by Ridge Racer 6, Wreckfest, Production Derby, Need for Speed Carbon, and Beach Buggy Racing. Obviously as this list gets longer I won't be able to say it every time we start it, but for now we seem to be alright. So yeah, Blur's still in the head, but we've got two interesting games to check out today. So let's have a look. We're going to start with Mario Kart 7. Recording on the 3DS is a little bit tricky with the camera, so I apologise if some weird visual looks to the thing. I've tried to aim my camera best as I can. Unfortunately, I don't have any capture gear for 3DS because it's a little bit more awkward than just using an Elgato. But just enough to give you an idea of what the game's like and where I'm going to put it on this list. Let's jump on over to Mario Kart 7 now. Okay, so I've got a whole angle, so I've just chosen a couple. We're going for 100cc and we'll just do a couple of tracks idea. Mario Kart 7 is interesting because it brought some ideas. It's like the gliding on the underwater sections. Series 8 up. Sideways here. Push me. Oh, does it? So, what I like about Mario Kart 7 already, great selection tracks, maybe best track. I like the vehicles, the tire, the glider, and body. It's got a good cast. I don't think it's quite as vast as other Mario Kart, but I think they've chosen a good selection. And I like how they bought some islands, some tracks from that have not made an appearance before. Island from Sports Resort. This is one of these good, what I call A to B tracks, which we don't see that often. And I quite like them. I kind of wish there was like a cup with A to B tracks in it. I hope they make more. Visually it looks great on the 3DS. Actually, come back to playing it. Looks really well. It's up as what you might call the 3DS Jaggies. When you play on the go, and online it's still got racing. Drifting feels good. This is one of the, I'd say, better Mario Karts. How the drifting feels, selection of items. Maybe not the best track, because I like Woohoo Island, but even in Wii it lacked a little bit of detail, but I think just going to that Wii graphical style. And it's got normal battle mode as well. And people playing online this morning. Daytime as well, so expect to be quiet during the working hours, but nope. Rocking their 3DSs. Due to the way I'm filming and recording this, I'm not going to be able to cut in between the tracks, races, but the loading times fast on this. Hopefully you can. Here we go. Wait, this. Record. Usually when I've yes gameplay or handheld gameplay, like bothered recording webcam looking at me as well, so I thought I'd let you all in what like change. And yeah, just let me know in the comments what the racing games are on the list. Like I said, we've got a list of games. Wow. Still got plenty more racing games. Let me know what racing games you'd like to see, and let me know where you think I should You'll disagree. Remember, it's just an opinion. I'm always other thing. And it's really difficult to try and holding it and turning it. This did come with motion and a first person. Oh, there's this for a lot. Remember, it came with gyro turning. And look, there's some great detail here. We've got cherry blossom coming in the air. I don't mind eating too much. That's weird angle. All your classic weapons in. It does have 2 tracks, and it does has masters of tracks. So pretty cool. Kind of like that since they started doing that in the benefit, because you get more tracks that way. I remember for first person view to come back. Maybe when we check out the other Mario Karts in Rank and Rig. Where's the music? That's for the fast. I do one more race after this. It's right. My hand is hurting holding it like this. As always, I think you can 10 coins at most. That will help you on. I'm gonna save it up. Oh. That's the last second. No worries, let's see what our last track's gonna be for half of Rankin Races. Grid. Ah, so good. This has made a first appearance. Haven't so. Sounds of the floor change when you go. Also, Pro also. I always think it was a bit of a weird fall, but handles pretty well in this. Pretty comfortable. Sounds so good. Yeah, there's some good like big sound effects in there, all things bouncing, wobbling. I really like the Mario Karts where they start adding like warping and wobbling. Yeah, small touches like this. I think it's really creative in the Mario Kart series. Especially it's quite creative in time it right as well, you get it all. Don't move. Jump. Oh, one more. I thought that was it. Right. And yeah, the speed pads now. They work well. Oh no. But I have to show that at some point. Yeah, I think the AI and stuff quite balanced. I had an issue landing the blue shell, obviously. It was controversial as anyway. Right, let's get up our list. So, yeah, Mario Kart 7 is really good. I'm not going to hold it against it, it's only portable. I think. Forward back. You know what? I know Blur is really good. But some of the ideas for Blur originally came from Mario Kart, so I'm going to have to give it Mario Kart. So type that in there. Mario Kart 7. Yes. Save, it should be on the screen now. And there you go, that's our current leader as Mario Kart 7, and then we'll play grid and see where it comes in that list. So we'll be back 1 second after this transition. Out grid. So next we're taking a look at RaceDriver Grid, or sometimes it's known as Grid, by Codemasters for the Xbox 360. And let's check out a few races, see how we feel which should come on the ranking of races. So this is like a street racing game with some licensed cars. Predetermined like tracks. They're more like racetracks, so there's no like pedestrian cars, civilian cars driving about. So it's got a good mixture of licensed cars, real world locations. Also, this is where one of the main games that brought that flashback feature in, so if you crash you can like rewind time a bit. So, but this definitely aims more for the arcadey feel to it. So overall I think it feels good. There's a little bit of swirliness, and as you might be able to tell from the gameplay, graphically wise it was impressive for the time, and I think it still holds up, but you can tell it's got that early Xbox 365 with a lot of bloom lighting that I find a little bit overpowering. Come back to it now. But it sounds good. This is one where you could choose like a name or a nickname for the announcer to call out. So we're checking out San Francisco first here. You can tell it seems to handle pretty well. AI could be a little bit vicious, and there's occasionally like if you get hit or something, you can fall back. It becomes a little bit frustrating where you're thinking like, I can see why they added the flashback feature in. When you get the hang of it, you can do a bit of good drifting. There we go here. I think it has like a good vibe and feel. Yeah, it looks well, plays well. Gotta decide the science here now of how to rank this racer. Oh. We also made an arcade version of this, and if you look on my channel somewhere, there should be a video of me playing the arcade version as well. I managed to find it on a boat. That's just a little bonus for trivia for there. I'm using a standard Xbox 360 controller, or you could plug in a racing wheel and use that. There's some different settings for assist, like traction control and braking assistance. But you can see what I mean by the bloom. You mainly see it on the buildings. We'll do a few races. There's a few different classes of cars. So we've got everything from this touring car to destruction derby cars to I think there might be some open wheel cars. We'll have a look through the list of cars. But yeah, this handles well and it's playing well and I seem to be doing alright. Like I said, if you end up crashing, the damage model is what's really good in this game, and that's something to bring up actually. So even though they're licensed cars, like you can really mess these cars up pretty badly, which is quite a nice change compared to some other racing games, which seems to treat them like you do a massive crash, but it looks like you've got a tiny scratch. Okay, nearly done here. Whoa. I'm probably crashed at some point. There's a lot of adverts, but it kind of suits that style of racing. Here we go. Leaderboard. It has got online multiplayer. I couldn't find anyone playing that when I did the online multiplayer test, so let's move over to another race. Now we're going to check out Demolition Diary. I've swapped the camera angle, and I'll show you some of the different camera angles here. So we've got this internal one that definitely makes it a lot more gritty. You can see again once the bloom is quite bad on this track. Oh, but this definitely gets you more of a feel you're there. The other camera angles got a classic, just behind, further behind, right down on the floor in front, just the bonnet, and then inside here. There are open wheel cars as well. We'll check those out next, and I'll show you some of this replay action as well. You can see what that looks like. If we can get ourselves in a bad crash here. Yeah, let's say, oh no, we spun out. Let's rewind. So it just loads up for a second here. And then we can show you, like, guess maybe like the last 20 seconds by looks at it. If we rewind to a bit we like to look of, we can obviously change the angles as well, so we can see where we are. I'm like, oh yeah, I was doing better there. I can press X, and then we go back in time, and then I can try again here. I won't hit that guy. You can see how that would come in handy then. Go. You can see more of the destruction here. You can see it at like a different mode. It's a totally different style of racing. Now, unfortunately, there's only 2 tracks for the Demolition Derby, which I don't know why, because they made such a good job of it here. This is quite a good Demolition Derby game, but 2 tracks it is a little bit bizarre. So, yep, I don't know what that's about. I wish to have more tracks. I feel like it's a good selection of tracks in this game overall. Good selection of cars. It should keep you going, and also there's a career mode as well. So content-wise, I think there's plenty here. Right, let's move on up to the open wheel, and then we'll have a think about where we think it should come. And remember, as always, you can let me know in the comments where you'd rank these races, because this is just my opinion. So there's no right or wrong answer, because it's an opinion. So I'd love to hear what everyone else thinks, what they think of the racing game so far. They think is better or worse. It's not necessarily the case worse. They might all be great games on this list so far. Just, you know, some you like have a preference and feel better, or you think it overall is a better racing game. Anyway, let's move on to open wheel cars next. The next up is the open wheel one. I haven't got a strong preference for open wheel Formula 1 style racing, but it's nice to have an extra, and it's not just a game dedicated just to that. So as a classic car, yeah, it's cool to have it in here. But this obviously it handles, and that's a good thing about this game as well. All the cars do handle a lot different, so this open wheel racing does feel a lot different from the usual and the other cars. So I gotta be a little bit more careful. But yeah, the commentator, like you just noticed there, is quite helpful for telling you about things that go on if someone's spun out. Trying to drive carefully here in one of these without crashing and talking at the same time. But yes, I think the flashback thing is one of those things people have mixed opinions on. You don't need to use it, but it's there. I find it quite handy in some racing games. If, say, you're playing lots of racing games, or you're playing a racing game, but you don't have as much time, it can be frustrating. Like if you've just messed up on a corner and you're just like, oh, for goodness sake, and it's like a long race, you don't want to do it again. I can see the benefit of the flashback thing there. I tend not to use it very often, but I'm starting to see the appeal of it, especially with when you're short on time. All the cars sound great in this. Got some crowd noises there. like I say, overall the environment, everything looks pretty good. Holds up pretty well. Runs really smoothly is what you want for a racing game as well. Just the bloom effect, but I've played a few other early Xbox 360 games that seem to do suffer from this whole bloom lighting, which is not something I noticed at the time. But revisiting these early HD games does really emphasize how much they love the bloom. I don't think I'm going to pass these guys here. Come on. Here we go. Ah! I've not noticed if there's any punishment for cutting corners in this game. Some games be like, oh, penalty of 10 seconds. Not really noticed that. I try not to cut corners, but sometimes it happens. There you go, 4-factor, I'm happy enough with that. That's a little bit tricky, the old open wheel. Depends what into. Some people love the open wheel, and that's cool. Let's have a think about... Let's see if we can put a replay on while we're doing that. Is this how game have? Nope, doesn't have replays. Anyway, let's get on to the main event. Let's move on up and we can discuss. Let's get up our current ratings so we can see. So we know Mario Kart 7 recently just earned itself a top place, followed by Blur and Ridge Racer 6. Ooh, a little bit getting crowded with Xbox 360 games here, but never mind, that was a good system for racing games. I like Grid. I like the diversity of it. Plays well. Visually, I'm a little bit mixed on. And there could have been some more tracks for the Demolition Diary. Is it original though? And does that matter? It kind of does matter at the same time, because even though it plays well. Okay, I think I'm going to stick here. Sometimes I think I'm going to regret this, but I like Destruction Derby on the PlayStation 1, but that also had a lack of tracks. It was definitely not aged as well. Is it better than Wreckfest though? No, because Wreckfest has the Demolition Derby, but it has like some good races as well. It definitely doesn't suffer from the bloom effect. I'm torn, but I would have either said it's better than Wreckfest or worse than Wreckfest. This is a close one. I'm going to say, and this is just my opinion, so I'm curious what everyone else says. I'm going to put it below Wreckfest. Yep, I'm going with it. That was difficult to choose, but I think it just has, let's save that so you can see it. I just think it has, obviously it handles better and plays better like Need for Speed Carbon and Beach Buggy Racing and Destruction Derby. Wreckfest has got plenty of other options like purely demolition and some racing demolition, but just some standard racing as well, and that has a mixture of different tracks and cars as vehicles as well. Like I said, some people might think why put Ridge Racer 6 so high, but it has a great arcadey feel and there's loads of content now. And what it does really well. Grid's trying to like do a jack of all trades, but it's a little bit thin on some of those. So I'll give it credit, it's still a very good game. And coming back to it, it holds up pretty well. I mean, I'd play some more. And like I said, definitely check out the arcade footage I got as well, as I was surprised when I came across it. I was on a boat as well. So thank you very much for joining. As always, let me know where you'd rank these racing games. I'm well curious to see as this list gets longer and longer where these rankings are going to look like in the near future. And when we get, because I told you there's over 100 games on here, so this list is going to get really long. I might have to start making the text a bit smaller on here to fit them on. Anyway, as always, thank you to our patrons. Remember to like and subscribe and hit the bell. We appreciate all the support. And join us next time on Ranking of Races. Bye.